ओम नमः शिवाय। परम पूजनीय गुरुदेव जी चरण स्पर्श। प्लीज रिवील द सीक्रेट्स ऑफ डेथ एंड लिबरेशन। गुरुजी, मृत्यु क्या है? वाई डू पीपल डाई? व्हाट हैपन्स आफ्टर डेथ? मृत्यु के बाद क्या होता है? हाउ डू वी अटेन लिबरेशन, मोक्ष, निर्वाण?
Om Namah Shivaya. So let us begin with the Yam Nachiketa Samvad. First of all, I'll request all my disciples, all the listeners, all our audience from the length and breadth of India and from across the world to please listen to the nugget of wisdom on Rig Veda. There, Guruji has explained in detail all the energies that are denoted as deities or devatas in Rig Veda. The various forms of energy, the various manifestations of energy that have been defined scientifically in Rig Veda and given the nomenclature of devatas or deities have been explained in greatest of detail in Guruji's nugget of wisdom on Rig Veda. So Yama is actually the energy, that manifestation of energy, that aspect of physics which governs the interconvertibility between matter and energy. Now, let us understand one thing. When a person, quote unquote, dies, what do you understand by death? Is nothing but a logical node, logical milestone in the constant evolution of consciousness. There is only one constant in this entire cosmos. That is evolution of consciousness. All that you see around yourself, this entire world, this cosmos, and there are 14 dimensions of consciousness that we will address today. The purpose of all this is just one: evolution of consciousness. There are three fundamental phenomena. There are three fundamental hetu of this Brahmand: evolution, economics, quantum. These are the three fundamental phenomena. These are the three fundamental energies. These are the three fundamental forces that drive everything. And evolution happens for the sake of evolution of consciousness. So, what you think as death is just a logical milestone in the upward trajectory of consciousness. Death simply is. You have lived a certain life on earth, Bhu-lok, Om Bhu, and based on your karma, based on your sadhana, based on how selfless, fearless and egoless you have been in doing your Hindutva Abhiyan Mahasadhana, you either go down the levels of consciousness or you are reborn on planet Earth. You remain for multiple horizontal cycles on Bhulok, that is this cosmos, the way you know it, or you move up the higher levels of consciousness. So, let us first come to the beautiful divine story of Yam Nachiketa. Nachiketa symbolizes the critical importance of Navacharan Gayatri Mahasadhana and the accompanying way of life of selfless, fearless, egoless Hindutva Abhiyan Mahasadhana. Now let us understand what it means. Nachiketa is described as a very young boy whose father organized a very big Mahayagya. In that Mahayagya, his father invited all the kings, great sages from the world over. The purpose of Yagya is Ahuti. You share the surplus resource that you have with the needy sections, with the disenfranchised sections of the world. You inspire others to do the same. Thereby, you practice transcending your I-centric way of life, that is your selfishness, your self-destructive, self-created fears, that is you practice fearlessness, and you practice to transcend your I, ego, so that you can become egoless. So, the purpose of Yagya is to be selfless, fearless, egoless by sharing the surplus resources that you have with the comparatively disenfranchised in the society, while simultaneously you inspire the other empowered people of your society to do the same. That is also known as Shri Ram Tattva Mahasadhana. So Yagya is done to institutionalize, to strengthen the Mahasadhana of Shri Ram Tattva Mahasadhana. That is, empower yourself to empower others, especially the disenfranchised. So, Nachiketa observed that when his father was giving away his surplus resources, instead of using that process to give away his selfishness, fear, ego, his father was getting more and more egoistic. He was feeling very good about it. That, see, I am doing something great, I am great. This I started bothering Nachiketa. So he asked his father that, Father, you are doing such a great yagya. And while you do this great yagya, instead of giving away your selfishness, your fear, your ego, you are strengthening your ego. This is wrong. So his father said, no, you are a small child. You will not understand. These are stuff of big, great people like me. You keep quiet. So Nachiketa said, no, this is wrong. I cannot be a party to it. He said, okay, if you are truly selfless, fearless, egoless as you think, in your delusion, in your self-created state of delusion, give me away also. His father said, what nonsense? Nachiketa said, no, you have to give me away. His again father said, no, you are my dear son, how can I give you away? He said, Nachiketa said, no, father, show me that you can transcend your attachments, give me away. His father became very, very angry. His ego, like a demon, overtook his senses. His evil origin of thought started guiding him. And in a fit of anger, under the influence of his evil origin of thought, he told to Nachiketa, okay, I give you to Yama. And then suddenly his father said, oh, what I have done. And he became very afraid. And he said, no, I take my words back. But Nachiketa said, no, you have given me to Yama. With my yogic Shakti, I go to Yama. And he simply, with his body, transcended to Yamalok. And he came to Yama. Yama said, who are you? He said, I am Nachiketa. He said, but you are supposed to live for a long, long time. You are not supposed to be here. Go back. Nachiketa said, no, my father has donated me to you, so I will be with you. Now Yama is in Dharma Sankat. He doesn't know what to do. Here is a small boy, but so powerful spiritually that on his own he can come to Yama with his physical body. So Yama said, see, you are a great Rishi. I truly respect you, your sadhana. Do one thing. Ask anything from me. Moksha, liberation, the boon to rule this universe, this cosmos, all 14 dimensions for eternity. Nachiketa said no. These are all transient illusions. I want the real. If you want me to go back, explain me the physics of death. What happens after death? Because death, what it seems, is not. Yama said, no, what are you asking? Ask for anything else. I'll give you all knowledge, all wealth, everything. Nachiketa said, nothing doing. Either I stay with you, or if you want me to go back, you will have to teach me the physics of death. What is death? What happens after death? What is the purpose of death? What is the physics of death? Yama said, okay. In that case, I'll tell you which I have never told anybody. And after that, when Yama explains him the physics of death, that part is so profound that it is not even recorded in the VEDA, Upanishad, the Shastras. So today, let Guruji tell you, all of you, what did Yam actually tell Nachiketa? I will request to all of you that so that you understand what Yam told Nachiketa, what is the actual physics of death, please listen to two nuggets very carefully. One is thought management, how to control your mind. And second is the nugget of wisdom on Rig Veda. The way Guruji has explained Nasadiya Suktam, the physics of the creation of the universe. Because the physics of the creation of the universe and the physics of death are simple quantum superpositions of each other. One at the level of matter, that is this universe. One at the level of prana, that provides functionality to matter, that provides functionality to you. So, to truly understand in today's language, in a way that we can understand, what did Yam tell Nachiketa? Come, let us first meditate upon the complete Gayatri Mantra. Because the secret, the details, the physics of what Yama told Nachiketa is already coded in the full Gayatri Mantra. So come, let us go on a very beautiful journey together. A journey of absolute divinity, where we will know the physics of death, which is also the physics of creation, which is also the quantum superposition of the physics of the creation of the universe. One at the level of prana, another at the level of matter. So, this beautiful journey begins now. On your screen, all of you will see the complete Gayatri Mantra. To truly master this complete Gayatri Mantra, to truly understand and experience its power, please meditate on the nugget of wisdom whose link is being given below. The nugget of wisdom on Learn, Nurture and Gayatri Sadhana from Guruji. Once you have mastered Nurture and Gayatri Mahasadhana, you will start understanding the power of this complete Gayatri Mantra. So now I will chant the complete Gayatri Mantra the way it is supposed to be chanted for all of you. First we take 2 deep breaths and then we chant Om 2 times, and then this entire Gayatri Mantra in a very special manner. Om Om Bhu. Om Bhuvah. Om Swaha. Om Maha. Om Janaha. Om Tapaha. Om Satyam. Om Om Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Om Apo Jyoti Rasomritam Brahma Bhur Swarom What this full Gayatri mantra signifies is the 7 dimensions of higher consciousness. We all are at the level of Hu Lo. So Om Hu, it signifies the consciousness of matter. Matter is our entire cosmos, the interplay of matter and energy. Om Bhuvaha is the next higher dimensions of consciousness, which represents the consciousness of prana. As Guruji just explained, prana is which gives functionality to the matter. Even higher than that is Swarlok. Swar is the root word from which Swarga has come. It is the dimension of consciousness of the initial stages of divine consciousness. Then comes Maharlok. whose guiding mantra you see on the screen, Om Maha. Maha, Mahar, is the root word for Mahan, greatness. So Mahatma, Mahan, Mahatmya. Anything that is great is rooted in these higher dimensions of consciousness. Here, greatness is the natural state of being, higher than Maharlo, which is the dimension of consciousness of all-pervading divine consciousness. Even higher than that is the level, is the state, is the loka, is the dimension known as Janarlo. It is the dimension of all creating divine consciousness. So all the creations that are rooted, that are triggered by divinity, is projected from here, resides here. Even all the Divyastras in their energy form eternally reside in the Janar Lok, which are momentarily invoked on planet Earth during the Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug for certain divine purposes. Like we have all heard in Mahabharata, Arjuna invoking Divyastra, Agneyastra, Varunastra, Vayuastra, Narayanastra, Pashupatayastra, Brahmastra, Brahmashirastra, Brahmandastra. They all reside permanently in their energy form in the Janarlo. It is the dimension of all creating cosmic consciousness. At this level, this is the highest level where interconvertibility between matter and energy is still possible. After that, the next two dimensions are pure dimensions of divine energy. The next higher dimension is Tapolo. Om Tapaha is its guiding principle. Tapahalo is the dimension of divine illumination. Tejas, Samadhi, is the permanent state of Tapolo. And even higher, the highest level of consciousness is Satyalo. It is the dimension of pure cosmic consciousness, pure divine consciousness, beyond which is the infinite. So, the evolution of consciousness at higher levels begins with Bhulok, Bhuvarlok, Swarlok, Maharlok, Janarlok, Tapolok, Satyamlok, Ananta. As Guruji has explained to all of you in great detail, our dimension where we are right now is known as Bhulok. Its operating mantra is Om Bhu, and it is the dimension of consciousness of matter. Higher dimension is Bhuvarlok, whose operating mantra is Om Bhuvaha. It is the dimension of consciousness of prana. Even higher than that is Swarlok, whose operating mantra is Om Swaha. It is the dimension of the initial stage of consciousness of divine consciousness. Even higher is Maharlok, whose operating mantra is Om Maha. It is the dimension of consciousness of all pervading divine consciousness. Even higher is Janarlok, whose operating mantra is Om Jana. It is the dimension of consciousness of all creating divine consciousness. Even higher is Tapolo, whose operating mantra is Om Tapaha. It is the dimension of consciousness of divine illumination. Even higher than that is Satyam Lo, Om Satya. It is the dimension of consciousness of divine consciousness. Even higher than that is consciousness of infinite, eternal, divine consciousness, Anand. Here only the eternal, infinite, divine consciousness exists eternally and permanently. This is that ocean of cosmic consciousness from where everything is born and unto which everything dissolves finally. So you can see the gradient of evolution of consciousness from Om Bhu to Om Bhuva to Om Swaha to Om Maha to Om Jana to Om Tapa to Om Satyam to Anand. The purpose of this cosmos The secret of physics of death is that it is like a checkpoint, a nodal point, a node of transformation, a node of interconvertibility, so that the consciousness of the soul can keep evolving from Bhulok to Bhuvalok to Swalok to Mahalok to Janahalok to Tapalok to Satyalok to Anant. Now, if we all meditate on what it truly signifies, we will realize the profoundness of Yam Nachiketa Samvad. We have been taught that Yam means death. No. Yam means the physics of interconvertibility between matter and energy. And Yam also is the facilitator of the upward evolution of consciousness. This is the upward evolution of consciousness that a soul, a Atma, has to climb. We are right at the center, at the 0th level, Bhulok. There are 7 dimensions below us, and there are 7 dimensions above us. Based on our karma, based on how selfless, fearless, egoless our Hindutva Abhiyan Mahasadhana is, our Guru Sadhana is, how dedicated we are to the cause of Rashtra, Dharma, Sanskriti, to create an utopian planet Earth of spiritual humanitarianism, which is essentially the core philosophy of Hinduism. As we all know, Hinduism is the ever-evolving transcendental science of divine consciousness, of eternal consciousness, of cosmic consciousness. So, we see on our screen the 7 dimensions of consciousness that are below Bhulo. If our karma is not correct, if we are not selfless, fearless, egoless, we descend to lower levels of consciousness. And if we have been selfless, fearless, egoless in our service towards Dharma, Rashtra, Sanskriti, spiritual humanitarianism, that is Hindutva, then we transcend the higher realms of consciousness. The lower realms of consciousness in their order is, at -1 level is Atallo, at -2 level is Vitallo, at -3 level is Sutallo, at -4 level is Talatallo, at -5 level is Mahatallo, at -6 level is Rasatallo, and at -7 level is Patallo. So, one has to understand that if we have not been careful enough towards our karma, towards our sadhana, then we can descend. And what does this descend means? It means the lower you go, the more difficult upward evolution begins. As Guruji has explained in Guruji's nugget of wisdom on thought management, when anyone is born on planet Earth, he has equal synaptic connections with his 5 origin of thoughts. As Guruji has explained in the nugget, thought management, how to control your mind, there is nothing known as mind. There are 5 origin of thoughts. Evil origin of thought, negative origin of thought, neutral origin of thought, positive origin of thought, and divine origin of thought, from where you receive your thoughts. When you are born on Bhulo, that is the planet Earth, your synaptic connection with all the 5 are equal. The lower you go, the natural synaptic connection with which you are born with evil origin gets strengthened. The lower you go, the higher is the natural synaptic connection with the evil origin of thought, which pulls you down. And the higher you go, Bhu, Bhuva, Swaha, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satyam, the natural bond with your divine origin of thought gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And easier is your ascendance. Easier is your upward journey. to higher dimensions of consciousness. If you want to transcend this momentary illusionary shackles that pulls you down, you have to be selfless, fearless, egoless in your sadhana, so that you transcend the higher dimensions of consciousness. From Bhulok you go to Bhuvarlok, to Svarlok, to Maharlok, to Janarlok, to Tapolok, to Satyalok, to Anant, the final liberation, the final moksha. And you should do everything in your control not to go downwards. This is the physics. This is the secret that Yama taught Nachiketa. This is the physics of death. How to avoid going downwards to the lower levels of consciousness, from where it becomes very difficult to come up. And how always to focus only on reaching higher and higher dimensions of consciousness. So this is the first aspect of the Rahasya that Yama told Nachiketa. There are many more aspects that as we proceed, Guruji will explain. But in a nutshell, generically the higher dimensions of consciousness are clubbed as heaven, and the lower dimensions of consciousness are clubbed as hell. But actually the purpose of all 14 dimensions is to facilitate your evolution of consciousness. Om Namah Shivaya.